Hello, this is Coretta Scott. Today is December 3rd, 2019, and the purpose of this video is for educational purposes. And could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Alexandra Branham. I am a co-worker of Coretta Scott.
Okay, nice to meet you. So tell me what's been going on with you today.
Going on. Well, I had gastric bypass surgery back in 2014.
Okay.
I did that to better, so I could be here for my daughter actually when she graduated high school. You know, life choices and everything else. So I'd be able to have a longevity of life because I started at 376 and now I'm down to 214.
Okay, that's very good. You mentioned that you did this for your daughter. What do you mean that you did this for your daughter? Did you mean that you did it for your daughter as well as yourself, or you did it strictly for your daughter?
I did it for myself, but the benefits is that I'll be able to live elongate my life, so therefore I'll be able to see her through her life milestones. So it's for me, but it's also for her also.
Okay, so what made you make that decision? What occurred in your life, if you would like to discuss, that made you decide, hey, this is what I want to do?
Well, first of all my life I've always been heavy set, and for people who are not heavy set, they don't understand the concept or how other people are being overweight. With that, I was always self-conscious of myself, and the thing was, I would think, oh, you got a pretty face, but what about the rest of it? And I was bullied growing up too. People don't realize that now, but growing up I was bullied because I was always the wallflower and everything else. So as I got older, the weight got on. I was in a relationship that was very, very, very not good. And as I was having issues in my relationship, food was my comfort zone, and so I was eating to compensate for what I was lacking in my relationship and lacking my self-esteem. So that's how that happened. And over time, I went from 200 to 250 to 300 to almost 400 pounds, and it was like, no.
So basically, you're saying that in your past experience that you were bullied as a child as you was growing up, as well as your previous relationship that contributed to your weight gain. Am I correct?
Correct.
And this will prompt you to say, hey, this is what I want to do to better myself as well as for my daughter.
Yeah, a lot of people who have gastric bypass surgery like I did, because they had medical issues. And at that particular time, I didn't have medical issues. The only thing I had plantar's foot, and that was it. I didn't have diabetes or heart situations or none of that, high blood pressure or anything else. So I was like, well, I'm relatively healthy and everything else. Let me go ahead and have this done now. And I wish I had it done a long time ago, because I did. When my daughter was like 2, I was going to have it done then. Well, 1 or 2, I was going to have it done then, but they were actually cutting you over from top to bottom to get it done, and I've heard some horror stories and everything else. I was like, oh, no, ma'am.
Okay, so how do you feel now after you had your surgery? How do you feel? What is your level of comfort?
It's a little bit better, but comfort-wise, I'm a little bit better. But then when I still look in the mirror and I still see that 376-pound person, 64-pound person, I still see myself as being the same person. Right now, I'm a size 18, 20, sometimes 16. Just depends on who makes the clothes. But I went from a size 32 down to a size 18. So I think that's a good accomplishment, but I still see myself, like I was asking somebody today, does he see my stomach? She's like, girl, leave your stomach alone. But I still see myself as being that heavy-set person and everything else. I still have self-conscious issues, so I try to dress a little bit better and everything else, and carry myself better. And I try to be an example for my daughter, because my daughter, she's heavy-set too. She weighs as much as I used to weigh, and she's had other medical issues with her thyroid and everything else, so I'm trying to talk to her to get her to do, better with that, with her health-wise. So it's a whole thing.
Okay, as far as right before you had the surgery, were there any counseling service for patients who about to go into this surgery, or you just went in as blind, that the doctor talked to you, said, hey, this is what we're going to do, and so forth, or you actually had counseling therapy in that particular?
The process was like this. First of all, with some insurances, your doctor had recommended. With ours, I did not have to get a recommendation. I went ahead and met with my bariatric doctor. After I met with him, we had surgery. I had to do a sleep study. I had to do a blood work study, and then I did have to go do a counseling session with just one.
That you're the perfect candidate.
Well,
okay.
no, it's some people who have the surgery. They think that I go on the table, I had a surgery. 3 weeks later, I'm gonna be a size 2, and you're a size 92, and it doesn't work that way. You have to see what people's mindset is, because it is a challenging situation. It is a journey. It is something that's, if you don't do it right, it's detrimental to your health and it will kill you. But it's that you see where your mindset is at. And I could have had my surgery done because I started my process December 31st, 2013. I could have had my surgery come February. But me being who I am, and with my degree being in psychology and this and the other, I didn't want to go to my counseling sessions. And that's that was the last thing I did to my counseling session when I went in. Instead of it taking 2 hours, it took 4. And the counselor, she was Russian or something like that. She had a really heavy accent. And so after a while, she was like, you're giving me textbook answers. I said, you're asking me textbook questions. She's like, okay, so what's going on? And I told her my background and everything else. So the whole thing, she had to come at me a different direction. But the whole thing with the process, you start with your doctor, they do your weight, they see you're a candidate that way. And if they find out that you are a candidate, then you go through the process. And after I did my counseling session, I had to submit to the insurance company that I've been overweight, that I've been trying to lose weight. And I was like, when I sent it in the first time, they were like, no, you're not a candidate. I'm like, why not? And it's like, because you hadn't shown where you've been overweight, this, that, and the other. So I sent them pictures from the age of 17 up to the age of, I think I'm like 40, just turned 40. And so I sent that to them. They were like, oh, okay, you can do it then.
Okay, so
it's a process.
Basically, it's a process before you actually go to the operating table.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about your journey as you prepare for this particular procedure. What can you say to others or recommend to others in reference to, based off of your journey, if they looking to seek this particular procedure? Do you highly recommend them go through the counseling session that you went through, or do you recommend them just go to the doctor and go that way? What do you recommend for others who seeking this and don't have anyone that will help them, encourage them? What would be your recommendation?
With that, I mean, I have to go on my experience. That's a self journey you do yourself. You can't do it for your children. You can't do it for your spouse. You can't do it for this. You have to do it for yourself. And once you have that conviction to do it for yourself, you can't let anybody else deter you, because I know during the process of me going through this, our old supervisor, I talked to her because I had made doctor's appointments and everything else. And I said I hadn't told anybody yet. And she made the comment, she said, I accidentally told our director. And I was kind of upset about it, because I'm like, I was going to tell them when I was ready to tell them. The next thing you know, we got around the office. And I was mad because then I had some co-workers, you don't need to have this done, and you don't need to have it. You just push back from the table, blah, 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 blah. And it got to the point where I was at my desk, and I was sitting up front of the desk, and a particular co-worker came up to me, and she was like, girl, you don't have it. My friend Julia, she had it, and this, and the other. She says the worst seizure,
So
blah, blah, blah.
I
was met with opposition. Yeah.
Okay.
And my mom, I had to talk to her about it, and I was told her I had the surgery, and she got to panicking and crying, saying, so I just told her, Mama, I changed my mind, because I don't need that to happen. So I had the person who really did stand by me and support me through the whole process from beginning to end was my ex.
Okay.
He was there. That was before we separated, but he was there from the beginning to the end.
Now, is this the particular ex that made that you said that you were going through difficult moments with, mm-hmm. and he actually encouraged you and supported you?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said that you were met with resistance from others in reference to prior to getting this surgery. Mm-hmm. What was going through your mind when they were telling you don't do it, this can cause this can cause that. What was going through your mind when you was met with the oppositions from others?
I wanted them to leave me alone because point blank, two of them, and I hate to say this, but two of them I was like, you need to be on the table with me. My thing is this, that's my decision. I wasn't asking your permission or anybody else's permission. The only person's permission I was asking was God's. And if it didn't feel right, I wasn't gonna do it. So for me to be going, that was a major surgery too. Mm-hmm. So anybody going through a major surgery, if they're not at peace with it, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna have complications behind it before they go in because of stress. I was at peace with it. The only reason I was stressed out and in because I had this person one year, this person the other year, this person, and you don't know my journey. You don't know what I'm going through. It's just like with a drug addict. You can always go there and push them into the drug addict program and the rehab program and everything else. But until they make up in their mind that they're going to follow this through, it's not going to work. And no matter how much you hound them and say what you can do, this and the other, you don't know their journey. You don't know what they're going through. So I had to push that to the side and everything else. Now, if they came to me when I first started trying to do it, my daughter's a baby, yeah, they probably would have won. But that was my decision then not to do it because I had other things in my mind, and it was like I heard stories where people had left instruments in people got staph infections and all that other stuff. So therefore, I couldn't do it. So that's how that happened. But as for now, I know it was one of the best decisions I made. Now I gotta go, the other aspect of it now, I have extra skin, and I need to have my tummy tuck done to get all the skin off of me, and a breast lift.
And you mentioned that when you shared your journey with your coworkers and your family and friends, basically, and you were receiving opposition from, do you regret by telling them, or you felt the need that you had to tell somebody? Because I know when it come down to surgeries and procedures like this, people tend to be private with their surgery. Yeah. So do you regret by sharing this with other people, or you thought maybe if I tell others, people will accept me, will praise me?
No, I mean, as for here at work, I wouldn't tell them anything because it's not their business or anything else. They are not my friends, they were my associates. People who I work with, because when I go home, they're the last thing in my mind. My daughter at the time, my husband, my mom, my siblings, my cousins, those are the ones who were close to me, my village, those are the ones who, if I told them, I told them. But like I said, the only people who knew that I actually verbally told were 2 or 3 people at work who I knew weren't going to say anything. I told my mom, but I had to renege on that and make her feel better. My ex-husband, I told him, and my daughter. Did my brother know? I think my brother knew. But other than, my dad, my biological dad knew. But other than that, I didn't really tell too many people because my thing is this is my journey. And the ones who I told that were family to me were my immediate family. The ones who, if something actually did happen to me, it was going to affect them the most. So I did not tell anybody else. Now, after I had the surgery and everything else, I told other family members. They were like, "Why didn't you tell me that?" You didn't need to, and that's when they said, "Well, you didn't need today. You were fine." No, I come from a family where all the females in my family are slender between the size. They're like 5'6" and shorter, and they were always petite. It's only 2 of us in my family that were heavy set. It was me and my cousin, and in the year after I had mine, she had hers. I'm kind of maintaining, I guess. My cousin, she's gained her weight back, well, partial all of it back, but I'm having a good experience with it. Even now, I do have other issues with eating and everything else because sometimes I can eat, sometimes I can't, whatever. But as it stands for right now, it's a good situation, I guess. Well, yeah, not guess, it is. It's just now I have to go through and buy clothes, and it's kind of financially strapping because I'll go and lose 5-6 pounds here, and then gain 10 pounds, then I lose another 20 pounds. So right now I'm going through that fluctuating weight size.
And you mentioned earlier in reference to your family, the hereditary makeup, that you said that it was only 2 of you in your family that was considered to be overweight compared to the rest of your family members. As you was growing up, did they pick at you? Did they throw, like where you need to lose weight or so forth by you being one of the only one that was actually bigger than the rest of your family members?
They didn't.
Or they tend to, well, they basically accept you, and when you announce to everyone that you're planning on having this surgery, what did they say? How did they feel? Did they say, okay, we're going to support you 100%? Of course, you mentioned earlier that your mom, you were met with opposition from your mom, and you had to try to calm her down, assure her that everything is going to work out, everything's going to be fine. So as you was growing up in your family as being as one of the only ones that was actually bigger than the other family members, how did they take it when you told them that you were planning on having this surgery?
Well, like I said, the only people, like my mom, she was just worried about the surgery itself. She's always been on me, and then she's another person too, because she's always been skinny too. You need to lose weight, you need to do this, you need to do that. So yeah, I did get that from my mom, I got it from my dad, my stepdad, he helped raise me. And, this and the other. And then my ex-husband made some comments too during the course of our relationship. But it had to be my decision. As for my cousins and everything, growing up, it wasn't the fact they used to call me big or whatever, but what they would do was exclude me for certain things. And they were cliquish. So that kind of made you,
Made you feel out of place, that
Yeah.
you know that I'm different from others.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this concludes our first part of our session, and we will return with the second part. And the second part, I want you to tell me about your journey, the after effect of when you had the surgery, what's going on with your life, how did it change your lifestyle as far as meeting people. You mentioned that you're single, correct?
Yeah.
Your dating life, and overall in general. So we will return with our second part of our interview. Thank you.
When we come back.
If I don't.